his concern that the Creative Industries Bill could be hampered by adding national culture to it. I'm not sure if that's the right way to put it, Paolo. Would you have a view on that, Yusek, before we go?
Yeah, I hope not. But our approach is really more towards a whole of nation approach, a whole of government. For us, government agencies, it's really more towards working together because, as you know, there are the creative industry has several components, and there are many government agencies involved. But what we are after right now is really for all of us to work together and try to introduce new technologies in each of the different sectors to make us more competitive.
On that note, Yusek Fita, thank you very much. Thank you, of course, to Dan and to Ray and to Paolo for this very interesting discussion. And thank you very much to Arangkada for asking MBC to participate in this way. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
A million thanks to our panel and to everyone who joined the very interesting discussion on the strong growth sectors for the Philippines. Before we end today, we would like to take this opportunity to give a special tribute to the former executive director of AmCham Philippines, the late Mr. Robert Sears.
Arangkada Forum today. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rick Santos, the chairman and CEO of Santos Knight Frank. Today, I'm privileged to honor a man whose invaluable leadership and contributions have shaped the Philippine business community and the joint foreign chambers over the last 3 decades. Former AmCham executive director and my good friend, the late Rob Sears. I met Rob 26 years ago in my youth, still in my 20s, thinking I had it all figured out when I actually knew nothing. I walked into Corinthian Plaza to say I was interested in AmCham, that I'd like to meet someone at the chamber. Out bounded Rob Sears, the head of the American Chamber. Hello, young man. Rob greeted me with a welcoming outstretched hand. Great to meet you, eh? You've got to join the chamber. Rob talked glowingly about how great the Philippines was and all the amazing opportunities. Then closing with a nice to meet you, son. Do sign up with AmCham, and I'll see you at our next lunch meeting next week. Ciao. And that was the start of an amazing father-son 26-year friendship. Rob was like my second dad. He was the first person in the Philippines to meet my wife, Bonnie, and say congrats. He was the first one to call once each of my 3 kids was born at Makati Med. He too attended every single one of our major family events in the Philippines, including my 3 sons' first birthday parties, companies, sports events. He served on my board, the International School Manila Board, and countless other organizations. It seemed like Rob was on everyone's board of advisors, at least those who wanted to do the right thing. Rob was always there to help, calm, cool, reserved, and always thinking about what all sides might think or do. Rob was there to support and assure. No matter how tough situations got, he would have a smile, a joke, and would say wittingly, joke lang. Rob loved family, my family, and his family. Diana, Fred, James, Patrick. Rob was about as smart as they come. He spoke well, wrote well, was extremely well read. In fact, Rob read everything. Always organized and thorough. The ultimate compliment befitting him was that he was a very clear thinker. Rob was well traveled, truly a global citizen. He loved Asia, loved Europe, Italy in particular, a true Renaissance man. We shared a passion for Philippine history, especially World War II, mainly Corregidor, MacArthur, the Bataan Death March, the Japanese occupation years, internment of Americans and Allied civilians, businessmen and families in Santo Tomas, and then MacArthur's return. We could talk for hours, along with Leslie Murray. Both would share their encyclopedic knowledge. Rob was with the military, serving in Vietnam. Despite his humble, soft exterior and demeanor, beware bullies, the disingenuous, the charlatans. He could be as tough as they come. He loved business and helping people start, grow, and diversify their industries. He was a pioneer in the Philippines, in finance and the stock market. He started Merrill Lynch in the Philippines. People did business with Rob because they trusted him. Everyone trusted Rob. Every JFC president, every ambassador, even presidents of countries sought Rob's counsel. High level, low level, or no level. A friend or one-time foe, Rob would be quite magnanimous and throw you a despedida at La Tienda and say ciao. Thank you, salamat. He liked business because Rob liked people. He always saw the best in people. Above all, Rob loved the Philippines and the Philippines loved Rob. AmCham has been, for many, the rock of stability in stormy seas in the Philippines. Be they American, Filipino, European, Chinese, any nationality, did not matter. Starting a business, running a business, growing a business is hard in any country, let alone in the rough and tumble of the emerging markets of Southeast Asia. That's why his role in helping build the JFC has been priceless. The JFC's Arangkada today is one of the most important platforms of discussion on investments, employments, economic growth, leveling the playing field, etc. Amazing work. Thanks to John Forbes and the Arangkada team. Rob Sears would have been proud to see this continued advocacy benefiting many Filipinos well beyond his lifetime. Still, in my 30s, Rob and the three Georges, Drysdale Sr., George Drysdale Jr., and George Hennefield encouraged me to be an AmCham president. I said I was too young, too busy, and besides, no Filipino or Philam had ever taken on this daunting task. I asked Rob if I could, and he said, no sweat, we'll help you. Now get back to work. Ciao, and thanks, eh? Rob loved to see the inner workings of governments, both the Philippine government and the governments throughout Southeast Asia and across Asia Pac. Even more so, Rob loved the inner workings of the US government, especially Washington, in Washington, DC. He also loved the annual AmCham door knock trip to Washington. For him, easily the highlight of the year. Attending with the Drysdales, Bloom, Forbes, and other AmCham stalwarts. The Asia Pacific chamber heads, the energy and enthusiasm of DC, and connecting with various AmChams from around the world while doing the right thing for American business in the Philippines, around Asia Pac. Whether in Hong Kong, China, or Singapore, Rob was always consistent, clear, straightforward, and creative in his dealings. He served as the secretariat for the Asia Pacific Chambers as one of the heart and soul of this group, in addition to his roles at AmCham and the Joint Foreign Chambers. Rob gave back. There are so many examples of Rob giving back. One such example, for instance, Rob loved to help the youth of the Philippines. So he started the nationwide business leadership program for Philippine students with the right smarts and leadership potential. With no discrimination or bias to geography, persuasion, or socioeconomic status, the BLP has grown while helping to inspire, grow, and connect the next generation of Philippine leaders. But hey, he would actually help anybody. I got a call from Rob one early Saturday morning saying, "You're coming with me to give motivational talks to some young at-risk folks." I said, "Sure, Rob, anything for you, buddy." In no time, to my surprise, we headed out to talk with prisoners at the maximum security Bilibid prison. And it was great. Rob simply gave back, thus teaching us all the importance of seizing every opportunity to give back. If I had an idea or needed to talk through a business problem, Rob was there. He represented the best of America's golden age of leadership, but he was actually very much Filipino at heart. He embodied all the positive aspects of a 100-year-plus special relationship between the Philippines and America. I will miss not being able to pick up the phone and call Rob any time of the day or night with a problem, an observation, a joke, like one would ask a father. I will always remember Rob saying, don't worry, sit tight, stay cool, and it will be fine. Now get back to work, young man. Ciao, and see you soon, eh? Hope to see you again, Rob. Until then, ciao, my friend, and thank you for inspiring us to do the right thing for all. We'll miss you, love you. Godspeed.
Thank you so much for that heartfelt tribute to the late Mr. Robert Sears. And now let's all watch a video tribute that was prepared for us today.
Who can say for certain? Maybe you're still here. I feel you all around me. Your memory so clear. Deep in the stillness, I can hear you speak. You're still an inspiration. Can it be that you are mine forever, love? And you are watching over me from up above. Fly me up to where you are beyond the distant star. I wish upon tonight to see you smile. If only for a while to know you're there. A breath away is not far to where you are. Are you gently sleeping here inside my dream? And isn't faith believing all power can't be seen? As my heart holds you just one beat away, I cherish all you gave me every day. 'Cause you are mine forever, love. Watching me from above. And I believe that angels breathe, and that love will live on and never leave. Fly me up to where you are beyond the distant star. I wish upon tonight to see you smile. If only for a while to know you're there. A breath away is not far to where you are. I know you're there. A breath away is not far to where you are.
This is a video that nobody ever wants to make. And what can I say about Rob Sears that hasn't been said already 100 times or 1,000 times? Rob was my mentor. Rob was my advisor. Rob was my consultant. And most of all, Rob was my friend. It's obvious that I wouldn't have this career at AmCham if it hadn't been for Rob. He's the one that suggested I apply for the job and then supported me after I accepted it all the way to the end. There's one thing I could say about Rob, one word, probably generous. Of 69 years on this earth, I've never met a more generous person. He could never say no to the little kid selling Sambaguita on Meta. He could never say no to the children of his household help. He could never say no to the guards at the gates of Bel Air. On every Christmas and every holiday, he made sure they got a treat. So what can I say that hasn't been said? We'll be talking about Rob for years to come, sharing stories and having a laugh. So I'll just end it by saying, rest in peace, young man.
You are definitely going to be very, very missed, Rob. It's very obvious that you have made such a great impact on everyone at AmCham and beyond. So thank you for those of you who have spoken up and given this wonderful tribute to Rob Sears. And for now, we'd like to encourage everyone to register for tomorrow's midday and afternoon breakout sessions. To find out what the sessions are, please visit www.investphilippines.info Forum 2020 under Forum Agenda, midday breakout sessions, and sign up for these virtual rooms to have access. There will be talks on mining, agribusiness, tourism, on Invest Philippines, and advancing e-payments via public-private partnership. By the way, there is also a playback of Hacking a Pandemic, Health Tech Amid COVID-19. This is brought to you by the Milken Institute right after this program. So once we're done, please head over to the website and sign up to have access to watch that. And for now, we'd like to thank all our various sponsors and partners. ICTSI, KKR, Meralco, and Team Asia. For our gold sponsors, Converge, FedEx, First Philippine Holdings, Royal Cargo, and Filipina Shell. Our silver sponsors are AIG, Bosch, Cal Energy, Capital One, Chevron, Quezon Power Limited, Santos Knight Frank, and SGV. We'd like to thank our virtual room sponsor as well, Eastern Communications. For our bronze sponsors, we have BDO, Manila Water, and Mitsubishi Corporation. Our patrons include the Bank of the Philippine Islands, Isuzu, International Workplace Group, Marriott International, Mawel Chemical Corporation, NYK Phil, and Sojitz Ship Management, Inc. Thank you to our supporters, Big Box, Maersk, MCX International, Procter & Gamble Company, the Philippine Sinter Corporation, SPI Global, Sun Life, and Tech Rep, Inc. And our event partners, the Bankers Association of the Philippines, the British Chamber of Commerce Philippines, CCI France, Philippines Chamber of Mines of the Philippines, the Confederation of Wearables Exporters of the Philippines, the Employers Confederation of the Philippines, the Electric Vehicle Association of the Philippines, the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry, the Foundation for Economic Freedom, the Government Academe Industry Network, the German-Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Kiani Philippines, Makati Business Club, Management Association of the Philippines, the Nordic Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines, the Philippines Ecozones Association, PhilExport, Philippine Chamber of Food Manufacturers, Shareholders Association of the Philippines and the Tax Management Association of the Philippines. This concludes the first day of the 9th Arangkada Philippines Forum 2020. We will see you again tomorrow for the continuation of our virtual forum. Please make sure that you log in 30 minutes before the program starts. Thank you and have a great rest of the day. This is Monette Hamlin of Team Asia. We will see you again tomorrow. Ciao then. Bye.